I traveled 600 miles to get my hands on one record and a picture. Let's talk about that.
Next stop, Station Square.
So a little bit of background. I have been listening to the artist Mac Miller for a really long time. Not as long as many other people have, but it's responsible for a lot of my journey through music. Years and years ago, I had a recording studio, as many of you may know, and in that recording studio, I produced a lot of hip-hop artists, and through that started to grow to love the genre more and more.
Now I'm whipping ass instead of getting mines ripped. Posted up with that match lit, guys watching me so tragic, but I sparked that shit real quick, so lit I can't feel shit. Popped a couple pills like real quick, man, and that was it. I was fucking dead, no bullets on my head, just that really cool instead. So pitiful, these quitters do just take yours as the bed. Yeah.
Eventually, I asked one of my friends, Drew, I said, Drew, what is a rap artist that you really think I would like? I was already listening to some people like Kendrick Lamar, I liked Wu-Tang Clan, I liked a lot of old school stuff, some Logic, and he said, you know, I really think that Mac Miller is up your alley. It's not the same kind of stuff that you normally listen to, but it's just got a vibe to it that I really think that you're going to relate to.
40, 70 what?
So 148. 148. Come on, guys. Let's show you how we do this.
So I listened to two songs. I listened to the song BDE Bonus, which is Best Day Ever Bonus, and I listened to the song 100 Grandkids off the album Good AM, which just recently came out at the time. In fact, I think this might have been the week it came out, something around that time. And it stuck instantaneously. The song BDE Bonus had a sound to it. The chords were happy. The lyrics were happy, but for some reason the song still sounded sad. It was a song about the best day ever and never thought life could be this sweet, but it didn't feel sweet, and in fact it felt more like someone who wanted life to be sweet, and a lot of other people got that same feeling from that song, so it wasn't just me. But because of that, I started building a connection to this music. On almost a daily basis, I started listening to the album Good AM when I woke up, and it became a part of my routine, a part of my life, and as things happened in my life, I found that Mac Miller was releasing music that seemed to go along with it perfectly. I started listening to The Divine Feminine. I got married at one point, which I no longer am. The album Swimming came out, and that was heavy, especially with the timing around his death. And now we have the album Circles. And there were many other great ones before that. There were Faces, which is on the wall behind me here. Blue Slide Park, watching movies with the sound off, so many good pieces. And each one has a different story, a different perspective, a slightly different progression through this artist's life. Things started out as this simpler style of rap and just progressed more and more into a soulful type of music, taking hip-hop to a place that seemed to more explore the problems with someone's mental health. But not only that, exploring different concepts around the ideas of mortality and drug abuse and love and all kinds of things. But things that are very real, things that real people struggle with. And with his music meaning as much to me as it did, I wanted to go to where a lot of it came from. I wanted to go to where the influence started, and I wanted to purchase Mac Miller's albums in his city. So I went to Pittsburgh. Okay, now we are in downtown. Got a car, checked into a hotel. Honestly, not a whole lot exciting yet. Went to that local place that you told me a lot about.
Purgatory.
Well, that place too.
Hermione.
That place also. Now we're getting milkshakes with them. Yeah. and you exist. All right, let's go.
Do me a favor now.
Someone just Naruto ran past us, and somehow I didn't catch it on camera, and I really feel like you guys are missing out now. This was my first time ever going to the City of Bridges. My roommate at the time actually was from there as well, so he was visiting his family and I was visiting the city. We rented a car and started to kind of check things out, and it really is the City of Bridges. They're absolutely everywhere. As unmistakably as the city's iconic views were, it was also very apparent how much poverty and how much struggling there was in this city. Pittsburgh has seen a great industrial boom in its lifespan, but it's also seen the drawbacks of that receding. The acid rain, the state of decay in all the buildings, the amount of homeless people everywhere. It was absolutely mind-boggling to see a city that obviously was once thriving so much at one time and now seems to be in a state of almost entropy. Which isn't to say it's all bad. Pittsburgh was a beautiful city and there were plenty of nice places there. But there really is a contrast between the nicer parts and, I guess, everything else. And you can really see where the characters of this music came from, where a lot of these things were built upon. And I really wanted to experience that and see, I guess, where this person whose music has influenced me so much in my life, what they were seeing, what could lead a person to think the way they do and have to express themselves in the way they did. I tried a lot of the local food, which was pretty good. I think Nashville still got you guys beat if there's anybody from Pittsburgh out here, but Primanti Brothers was great. Purgatory was alright, a few other interesting things along the way. But then I went to check out the things I was really there for. So, one of the things that I have wanted to do for years and years and years is to get a Mac Miller record in Pittsburgh. And that is one of the things we're going to try and do today. We've already been to a couple record stores, and I haven't really found one yet. But we got a couple more stops. Somebody wrote some down for us on a piece of paper, and fingers crossed. I know I could definitely order a Mac Miller record online, but I just feel like I need to get one while I'm in Pittsburgh. It just makes sense. And I think tomorrow or the day after, we're going to try and hit Blue Slide Park and Frick Park Market. So, yeah. I went to Frick Park Market, which they still have the old sandwich from the music video signed in the fridge. A little bit gross, but I mean, it's cool. The lady who runs the store knew pretty much immediately when I walked in there. She said, "Oh, you're a Mac Miller fan." I said, "Yep, sure am. You want to take a picture with the sandwich?" So I took a picture with the sandwich. I'm guessing they get a lot of visitors like that. She told me about a cool mural to check out down the road, so I went by and saw that. But my real main objective, like I said, was to take one specific photograph and to get a record. So I went to a few record stores, Jerry's Records included, with the sole purpose of visiting record stores that Mac Miller himself purchased a lot of records from, and in those stores to buy his records, as many as I could get my hands on. And eventually, I couldn't find any for a while. Eventually, I found one record store that was closed. I called the guy, I said, "Hey, I'm just in Pittsburgh for a couple more days. I'm on your side of town. Is it okay if I come in real quick? I want to see if you have a record." He said, "What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for some Mac Miller stuff. I traveled 600 miles. And the guy says, "You know what? I'm at the store doing some stuff. I'll let you in." So I go in, I go back there, and I found a lot of records, and one I didn't expect to find at all. This store was so full, and I talked to the guy who owned the place. He said that he knew Mac, and he said the guy came in pretty often. He told me some stories about how he was picking up some old records here and there, wanting to sample different parts of them to use for making beats, or looking for inspiration on a guitar part for a track. And in that store, I got Watching Movies with the Sound Off, Swimming, The Divine Feminine, and Faces. Faces I did not expect to find. In fact, I have really struggled to find a copy of it online, but the thing that made it special is this was a brand new, unopened in the package, Faces vinyl, which now is the one sitting behind me. And they are floating around online. I could have bought any of these records online, but going to this place to get this record added a lot more significance to it for me. It's about the journey of going there, listening to these albums on the way, and being able to physically go there and say, yeah, I went all the way out here to see where it all started and to get this music from the place that it originated, which was a really great experience. I value these records significantly more than if I had just bought them online. So from there, I went to Blue Slide Park. which is also the name of one of Mac's albums. In fact, the first album that he really started talking about his mental health problems. A few times they were touched on in this album, and that really started to kind of head in a direction that would really define his career. Now, some people didn't receive this album as well. In fact, this album was received much better years later. But it set in motion the path that would eventually lead to his final two albums, Swimming and Circles, which are both absolutely incredible pieces. If you haven't heard the album Circles, I highly recommend it. But there's so much diversity and so much volume to work through in Mac's music that it really does take a lot of time and an open mind to sort through. Some of it, as I said, is entirely just street rap. Some of it's rapping about drugs and weed and whatever else you want to talk about, and women, cars, speeding on the freeway. But it's interesting because he refers to a lot of these things in this incredibly lavish life that is unfulfilling. And in a lot of ways, we're looking at the perspective and story of someone who came to fame at a very young age, progressed through having everything they could ever want except for happiness. Which isn't to say that the artist wasn't happy. I'm sure that they absolutely had their moments. But from the perspectives of what they're saying in their music, it's very insightful to how a person like this could have lived their life. So having gone to Blue Slide Park and taken my photograph and seen what it was all about, I made my way back to Tennessee and, well, I guess now up to New York because I live in New York now. Happy lockdown. And now these records are a part of my life, as are the memories that I got while finding them. So, do you like any of these records? Let me know, leave a comment down below. Do you want to hear more stories like this? Because I got a lot of them to tell. I happen to film almost all the time when I go places. Working on a new idea with this little segment I'm doing here and thinking about maybe interviewing some people that you guys know also. So that's all I have for this video. If you liked it, please leave a like down below. If you want to get active in the community, you can at forum.hifiguides.com. And as always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Until the next one, guys. Peace.